Commence primary ignition.
Hey, I'm actor Chris Bartlett from The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you're watching Virtual Cantina Network.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you is. And hello there. Welcome to the finale of The Acolyte, which is properly called The Acolyte.
They did the thing.
I know. You watched Screen Crush, didn't you?
The good old Family Guy reference.
Yep. Welcome to the finale of The Acolyte on the Virtual Cantina Watch-Along. I'm Spencer. And right in Chewy, I got Jeff and Dave. How are you guys?
Good.
Doing well.
So we are 6 days away from San Diego Comic-Con, which we just found out in the pre-show. I got to throw this out there right now. Dave got the Deadpool panel.
Sweet. Yes. Sweet.
I will be there.
Nice. Yeah, I won't be down there yet. I will be still around LA at that time.
But
Did you
that's
share
gonna be
this to the main page, Spencer?
Oh yes, I can do that too.
No, I got it. I was just asking if you had already.
Oh, I had not. I was doing the opening.
All right,
stuff.
on it.
Yeah. Cool. But yeah, so Dave's going to the Deadpool Wolverine Celebration of Life. So that's going to be
cool.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yes. I am excited because, regardless of whether I into Hall H for anything else, is that I've got one. So
Yeah, that's a pretty big one too. That one's very popular. My buddy messaged me the same time that you put out the feelers, Spencer. Did anybody get Deadpool? And he's like, please check your email. You sent me the link. Did you get it? I'm like, I didn't get to sign up at that point because I had only a Sunday badge and yada yada. And he's like, oh damn. He was all bummed. So I was like, that's the way it goes.
No, but that's been completely awesome. I'm so glad that you were able to get in for that because that is pretty. And there's Mark Truax. Truax. We're getting the band back together next week. We're gonna have the Beard Batch back together.
Too bad Ashley won't be able to join us.
well, no, Jason.
Well, Ashley's part of the Beard Batch.
No. I'm just saying she's saying hello as well.
Oh, okay.
I was saying that as you were saying Beard.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
Well, better Ashley as
She could be
Omega than you. So
That's true. No, we ain't got time for that. But yes, 6 days away from the beginning of San Diego Comic-Con and then the start of the pre-show of our Virtual Canadian Family Vacation. But we got our meetup. We're going to be at the Omni Hotel on Saturday night, the Ace Porter Bar, which is formerly the West Coast Social Club, where we met last year. And I think this year we're actually going to have a larger contingent because a lot of the VCNers who are going on the trip a lot of them are going to San Diego as well.
And there's been a little bit extra push on outside of us for the fact that this is an event. So the fact that it was in the unofficial Comic-Con blog, and it's part of the primer that Sarah from Skywalker's put together for Star Wars related content.
Friends of the network have been pushing it out there for us, so that's really cool.
And so
that was an interesting find. I was like, I was looking at, trying to figure out, things I was going to do. And I'm like, it says Virtual Cantina. I'm like, what the hell? Someone saw this. Cool. Okay. It's like someone went to the search bar and typed in SDCC. I think that's really what it was,
Probably. And we came up and now we're part of that. So it's even
as
more.
We should be.
Yes.
Woo. We're Hall Meh.
Oh man.
Yeah. MEH.
Yeah, it's Hall H just with me.
Yeah. Hey, there's April. Speaking of April and Bruce, how are
Oh,
they?
there.
But yes, we're very excited. We hope to see you all at our meetup if you're going to be in San Diego next week, which is my first time since I think I was 4 years old was the last time I was in San Diego.
Yeah, this will be a very different experience than a normal San Diego trip, I will have to say.
Yes. No, it's going to be absolutely incredible. I'm excited about that. As mentioned, Dave and Jeff are going to be at Con mid next week. I arrive on Saturday morning with Mark Von
I'll be
Olen.
there Friday night is when I'm coming in, just in time to catch the, is it post-apocalypse party? I keep forgetting which party is when.
Party
But yeah,
Apocalypse.
Party
Yeah.
Apocalypse.
So Friday night for the XLE party, and then whatever else I can squeeze in, and then back Saturday bright and early. Now I was going to come in midday on Saturday and just sort of dick around, but now I'm going to be there for the whole day, and then hang out for the meetup, and then come back on Sunday for a shorter day and maybe be able to do other things that I was not planning on doing. So we'll see.
But yes, no, I want to plug our promotional partner for the Virtual Cantina, Boonty Eve Special Edition, XLE Promotions. They are running 3 of the best after parties starting next week, next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. They have Ready Player One, Legend of
Ready
Fantasy.
Party One. Mm-hmm.
Yes. That too. Then the Anti-Hero Party, and then the Party Apocalypse. So get your tickets now. I know there's a coupon available that I saw on the unofficial blog for like 20% off. And if you walk their red carpet or black carpet or whatever it's going to be, you might see a logo that looks kind of familiar on their step repeat.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, Bruce, if you need an assistant, I'm available. Summers at least.
Yes. So get your tickets for that. Also want to plug as well the 501st Bash, the Hosnian Prime.
It's called the Bash now. They've dropped the 501st part because it's a combined club thing with the Rebel Legion and I believe the Mando Mercs as well, if not another group or two. So it's a big sort of group effort, which kind of makes it even more massive.
Yep. And then, of course, Mosh Isley as well. But I do want to plug as well the XLE parties because they're all 3 being DJ'd by our family members, Atomic Blonde and DJ Elliott.
Nice.
Yes. He is their house DJ these days, it seems, which is very cool.
So, and Elliott is a very dear friend of the group, and as is Atomic Blonde. If you've not seen them, they are at the celebration stage of Celebration every year, which is great. But yeah, and then next week we start the family vacation. After Deadpool Wolverine, Monday, bright and squirrely. And then we got Heroes of the Filoniverse peeps. Jeff actually hung out last night with one of our guests. Well, right there. Time is good. But Jeff, you were telling me that Galen's excited to meet everybody.
He seemed very keen on the event, and he was kind of grilling me for info because it's new to him. So he was very much wanting to know what it was going to be like, and I was telling him about previous events and the turnout that we tend to get because the focus of a lot of the people that come to these are autographs specifically. And so he seemed like he was very much ready for whatever was going to come. So
that's what he thinks now.
No, but he's quite the entertainer, and I hear he's quite the singer as well. So I think we'll get him to do some karaoke later that night, which would be really good. But we're not done yet. What's happening on Monday that is going to reveal one more thing?
More thing. It's when we're going to reveal the heart attack that Spencer has given me and Jeff. That's what we're revealing.
After a year of working on this?
Monday, we are going to have Celebrating Autographs again, the summer vacation edition. It's going to be a nice wrap up of all the things of all our events. We're going to remind you about who all's going to be there. And we're going to reveal a last minute brand new signer that we have just completed talks with yesterday?
Literally yesterday.
Literally yesterday.
I think I spilled the beans to Galen, but if you happen to run into Galen, you might be able to get that out of him. We'll see if he remembers.
But we'll never tell.
Well, as long as you have a reservation.
Oh yes, he was. I was telling him about how I threw that in as the stinger on the end of the video, and he got a great kick out of it. So I was like, nice. Yes, that worked That's really great. Well.
But yes, and Frank's going to be joining Dave.
Yes, Frank and I will be doing that at an earlier time than we were. We were doing 9 o'clock, but we don't want to interfere with Rebels Revisited. So you will be able to catch Celebrating Autographs at 7. And then we will be done before Mark and Ashley come on at their usual 9. So, nice. Or these are Eastern times at least, yeah.
Which is absolutely incredible. And then on Tuesday night, I believe we have a very special VCN news desk to talk about Disneyland. Jeff, why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I was in talks with some other locals that are very familiar with the Disney parks, and we will have a Disneyland takeover during the family vacation. So we figured Mike and myself and possibly John, maybe Dave if he decides to join us, will kind of go through sort of our thoughts and feelings and tips and tricks and best ofs and whatever for Disneyland, because not everybody who's coming has been there or has been there recently. So, some things have changed, some things are closed.
And some things are changing between now and when we will be on the vacation.
There's possibilities of other things happening between now and then. But yeah, so it'll be just sort of a primer to kind of throw out some thoughts on Disneyland for anybody who's not familiar or as familiar as we are with the parks and navigating stuff there. So it should be interesting. We need to kind of figure out exactly what we're going to talk about. It may be a short show, just us kind of going through a few points, but it will be informative.
It'll be a much longer show if those of you out there ask questions.
Yeah, the more input we get, the better it will be.
If you have questions, if you're going to be at Disneyland, either with us or anytime in the near future, come ask questions. And between those of us that are going to be on, we should be able to answer that.
Yes. That's one of the things, is that we'll all have our own little takes on things that will sort of come together and provide a good overview of, visiting the Southern California parks, and specifically Disneyland. DCA is there too, but not my favorite. Although Mark Von Olin is very adamant about spending some time in DCA.
So. Well, yeah, my family is too. We enjoy that, and we haven't seen Avengers Campus yet. So if you haven't seen Avengers Campus, you got to see it. You might not like it, but you got to see it.
No, it's definitely they did a really good job with that area that they sort of dropped the ball on originally, and they're sort of making up for now in Galaxy's Edge, where there's tons of characters around, wandering through the crowd, hanging out for photo ops, doing little performances. Spider-Man's on the roof of the Web Slingers building, doing crazy stunts. Doctor Strange has his own little sort of show.
The Pym restaurant's good.
Pym, you know, you don't get to see Ant-Man making giant pretzels, but you know, the food is a trip. It's like, and they continue to introduce things. Like I think recently they just dropped a giant taco salad that looks like it looks like a giant taco, but it's a taco salad. But you know, one of my favorite things is they do sort of a stunt show up on the Quinjet building, the HQ for the Avengers that's in the land. I was telling Ashley and Mark that after they did the what ifs, and they specifically the episode where they had the zombie characters from Avengers, that they had zombie freaking Captain America wandering around there.
Well, yeah, and they did like when Loki was on, like Loki,
they did Prisoner Loki
changes were like updated daily.
They would be out, like the show would drop, and like the next day they would have a new version of Loki's costume for the actor to wear, wandering around through the the land, as it were.
No,
it should be pretty cool.
Very exciting.
And right here, let's cover some of the talk in the chat there. Do your portals if you haven't already. So April, good reminder. Bruce, hopefully she's filling you in, but portals, if you don't know it, if you're going to San Diego Comic-Con, it's like your opportunity. It's almost like the Celebration lottery, but it's not for everything. Similar. Is you can enter, you've got a certain number of credits for every day that you have a ticket to San Diego that you can choose to be put into a lottery for if you want to go to the Funko store. Okay, if you want to have an opportunity to get the exclusive Funkos and you have a Thursday ticket, you've got like 12 credits to spend on Thursday. Now, you might want to put them all 12 on the Funko store, but that still doesn't guarantee you get Funko. But you might want to put 2 here at this time on Funko, 2 here at that time on Funko.
There are like 6 or 8 times throughout the day for most of the store access, and that's one thing that they've changed over the years. They used to have to be that you would literally have to be in line at like 6 a.m. on the back side of the convention center outside, waiting for whatever booth, Hasbro, Mattel, before Funko was a big thing. And you would then get, if you went through the line and weren't, however many they cut it off at, you would get a time frame that then would let you return to the line in the convention center for the store later on. And, sometimes that was good. Sometimes it was bad. Like I was saying to somebody, I was in the Hasbro line, and it starts out like in the back of the convention center, and then they escort people up to the front or the middle of the show floor where the booth is because of line control and stuff. And then you start to snake around the actual booth and then through a like back and forth thing before you can get up to the counter to buy stuff. But it gives you an opportunity to see what's there. Yeah. And literally they sold out of the figure that I was really hoping for as I was in that part of the line. It was kind of a bummer, but I think that was also the same year that Sergeant Slaughter stopped by the booth and was, hanging out with the staff. And
because that's Sarge San Diego exclusive. He has a couple of them at his booth when he travels to cons, and he travels with them, and those are like $400.
Yeah, they were very popular. I know that probably was the item I was looking for and was unable to get because of how popular it was. But
is from what I understand now, the most of that is virtual. Is you can go and spend those credits in the portal, and you will get an email that says what you were selected for through the course of whatever days you have tickets for. And then I think you still have to show up at like 7 a.m. or something to get a wristband. I'm not sure of that.
I don't.
You have to listen to that necessary.
But there is probably some extra step involved to guarantee that you get in line.
And it's not just for shopping. There are also exclusives that are on there. Masters of the Universe has some poster signings with their artists and their voice actors. The ABC's The Rookie has a signing. Percy Jackson and the Olympians has a signing. The High Republic authors, I'm not sure if they're on the portal or not, but they have a signing anyway.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that sort of happens in the booths around the show floor besides the signing area that is upstairs, which we'll also know some friends of the network that will be doing signings up there after panels and things. So that's where I ran into, for anybody who is old like me and maybe these guys, there's a show called New Zoo Review that used to be on, very reminiscent of the Croft shows from back in the 70s. And I was cruising through and look over and I see Freddie Frog and I lost my shit. We had to go beeline to Freddie Frog and, you know, interact with him. And then the creators and the stars of the show were there, and they were really receptive to our, you know, excitement. So that was really cool. You never know what you're going to encounter, so it's always fun to sort of just poke around and see what's going on. And
no, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm prepped for that con as much as I possibly can without knowing what the hell I'm getting myself into. But also, like I said, I want to also plug the fact that our good friends Hyperspace Props, who is the title sponsor for the Virtual Cantina Family Vacation, will be at Boonty Eve in LA as well as Anaheim, selling their swag and all that stuff, and assisting Sully in Sabak. But you can utilize the code BUNTA either at their table or online now and get 10% off of your entire purchase.
They have some cool stuff. So,
and actually, if you want to see some of the cool stuff, be watching the network in the next couple of days, because I have for you an unboxing video. I just
nice.
my package today.
Cool.
Ooh,
Hyperspace. So I've been holding off on that, waiting for you, and I'll put an unboxing video on the network shortly.
Nice.
Fantastic. So looking forward to seeing that, but also don't forget, we are going to be watching episode 8 of The Acolyte, entitled The Acolyte. So please make sure you have your D+ machines all queued up to Disney Splash as we get ready for that. But honestly, like, we're all excited because this has been this trip has been over a year in the making. I think we started working on this back in probably May, June of last year.
We started working on this in the 20s is when
literally.
Well, it is
I mean the 1920s.
Oh, okay. Before there was before the Book of Face.
Yes.
But we're very excited about it. It's going to be an incredible week. And if you are able to come to any of our events, they are free to get into. Even if you're not going to be getting some autographs or something, come hang out with us.
Yeah. If you're doing cosplay, anything especially related to the 3 different themes, definitely come out and show off your cosplay, get some photos on the step and repeat, and interact with the talent. I was reaching out to a friend of mine that I literally met excuse me 3 years to the day yesterday at Oga's Cantina, who does a Captain Rex full kit, and we were talking about her coming out as her. It's funny that it's a female that does a Captain Rex, but she does a great Captain Rex. And she was looking to reach out to a couple other clones, as it were, and have them come out to Scum and sort of just hang out and be there and interact with the talent and get some photos on the red carpet.
If you're able to, I was just thinking about that because, having Chris Bartlett as our bumper today, if you can get the IG-11 to show up.
Oh yeah, I gotta reach out to her.
He would love that.
Yeah, he was stoked on those photos when I showed it to him, and he wanted to know the cosplayer. So I have to reach out to my friend who is her friend, and see what we can do with that. That would be cool as well. That's an amazing build. It
was great when you posted it up. I mean, he was even going nuts over that. From LA Comic-Con from last year. But honestly, we did a lot, and there's a lot of things to go on, but there's a lot of downtime as well. we didn't completely overpack it. But the fact is that what I'm mostly well, no, there literally is. We have stuff. Don't get me wrong, but we didn't overpack it that much more that we don't have time to breathe.
Well, we're gonna be out of breath after the first day, but then we'll have the time to kind of catch up.
But we are very excited to see all of you guys, and I have new memories, new shenanigans, new everything, new stories. Who's gonna lose what? This trip.
Yeah, hopefully no one will lose their keys.
I don't think Skip's got keys for this one. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. No, but it's gonna be a lot of fun. Very excited about that. But no, it's just gonna be great, and a great collection of merchandise from all of our Bunta Eves, leftover merchandise from Bunta Anaheim, even leftover merchandise from Bunta London is going to be available at their booths at our events, as well as you can, if you have not picked up our new hockey jersey, you can place your order at Bunta.
Nice.
Which would be very cool. Yeah, very excited about it. But you can still plan on ordering it right now on our website. And delivery will be just in time for the fall winter cons. So it'll be great for like Rhode Island Comic Con. So Dave's gonna wear his there. I know. Read between the lines, man. Or Celebration, because when we rolled into the Bash last year in London, we really stood out. So consider getting one of the hockey jerseys. But no, and I don't know, just you're gonna lose all your Sabak credits.
Well, it's time to learn.
Thanks, Brad.
Hopefully, if we play with our own credits, we'll be able to get them back at the end of the the time. But yeah,
either that or Sully's gonna have a lot of credits.
Right.
Sully's it's gonna be like DuckTales with Sully.
Here's an interesting question involving swag that Bruce has.
Ooh, it's a good question.
I've been sort of rounding all mine off at 100.
That's what I've been doing. So I'm right there with you. I've been planning on 100.
Some things I'll have less of that than 100, but most of them are right around 100. So
yeah,
Go ahead.
No. I think I have about 100 of each swag that I made, but I think that I have like one that's specific for the Disneyland swag meetup. Separate from whatever other swag I hand out. That one's going to be the one I'm going to hand out there. But yeah, right there alone on the 31st at 2 p.m. at the X-Wing near Resistance Base, we are going to have our second annual swag meetup. And it's going to be pretty incredible. It was one of the highlights, I would say, of the first family vacation. And thanks
Who knows
to
what will be revealed as well. Oh, look, I'm saying it right now.
I'm frightened.
Right there.
I'm frightened of what might be revealed because of what was revealed last time.
Well,
oh, and then like you said, is a Disney specific one?
Yeah, I have. Do I have a Disney specific one? Not yet. I'm gonna make up a couple. Is that a patch or a sticker?
That's a patch.
Oh, nice.
So my Disney one is a patch. My regular one is a sticker.
I did some stickers and some magnets and some.
I have a pin, which is very apropos for our trip. A sticker for Disneyland, and our son of a bitch. I also
making comments.
Yeah, but my patches are Hu Yang is for the younglings.
Do you have any more flat marks?
I do. I actually shipped them to California.
There you go.
Oh, cool.
Well, I'll have some of my old stuff as well. The OG, the Virtual Cantina Network.
Nice. Speaking of which, pins. So everybody's going to have a pin that's going to come in early to Scum. How are those going to be distributed?
They're distributed.
Oh,
They were in their
well,
packets when they got their Disney tickets in their shirts.
okay. I don't have one. That's why I was wondering.
I have more. You'll be able to get one. Don't worry. I know.
I'm not worried. I'm just worried for other people that are coming and may miss the early part of the day or whatever, and are just showing up to scum. So
Yeah,
thinking
no,
out
I have
loud.
that.
And not everyone can have a limited edition chase version like Juan does.
Yes, that's true. Anyway, we're about that time right now, so please make sure your Disney,
Oh, yeah.
your Disney
Disney
Plus
Plus.
queued all up as
funny.
we are about to watch Acolyte.
We call it Disney or D Plus, and I was referring to the shows as D Plus shows. And one of my friends that I was reaching out to about the cosplay, and was like, D Plus shows? What are those bad shows? I'm like, no, Disney Plus. There we go. Okay. All right, here we go. We ready?
Yep, let's go to 10-second countdown.
Oops.
Woo!
Put my headphones on.
Nice.
So the Ryan Airy on Screen Crush talked about that thought I had about the moon and the sun combining kind of to make the logo that's like down over there, which I thought was kind of cool because I had noticed that early on.
Yes, it is very, very cool. Hopefully, I won't miss certain parts today.
I was intending to call it out for you, so
Yeah, we'll point and laugh.
So yeah.
How did the blind guy see it and I didn't?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. But,
Magical force powers.
Yeah, exactly.
Scoob has the force. Sensory deprivation. That's what it is.
Thank you, Scooby.
Yeah, Scooby will be the one to hold your hand and show you where it is. So did you ever determine that? Go ahead.
Would that be the blind leading the blind?
The blinder.
Wow.
Do we ever get any resolution on why C-3PO has the sparklies in his eyes?
No.
On that helmet intro part?
I think they just use that to mess with us.
Right.
You get ads now, Troy? I didn't get any ads. Were there ads? I didn't get
Oh, yeah, it varies. Sometimes I get ads, sometimes I don't. So once you get to the ads, just look at our time stamp.
No, I think he's doing the joke from Rise. We get ads now.
They add now. This freaked me out right here. Especially his eyes going black.
Yeah, she can like Borg them.
Here you go, Spencer. So that was a trip that she got that vision and then was just going on.
Well, was it just like the thing where a lot of this echoes to other things in the movies and other places, and like this
poetry.
really echoes to like Rey like letting go completely to the dark side and opening herself when she goes to the pool on Octo.
Right.
It's maybe homages, maybe just tying in that things that happen in the current day or whatever of Star Wars have happened all along in the past, that just, the Force repeats itself, or maybe it's just lazy writing. I don't know.
Well, they are throwing it back, as it were, to things that we've seen in many senses. A lot of the dialogue has lines that are reminiscent.
Yes.
Some of these scenes are similar in ways to others.
So Bruce, it doesn't say that it does. I mean, we may find out more later because this show, if anything, has so many questions that remain unanswered. But what is explained is that it is a sensory deprivation helmet. It blocks out anything that you don't bring with you. It blocks out the world. So it's you alone with the Force to concentrate on just that. So can it magnify? I would think that it would magnify the light side or the dark side or whatever you have brought with you and whatever is within you. It will let you reflect on yourself.
But also, don't forget, I mean, it has like almost like the whole Magneto effect where you can't read someone's mind.
Yes.
It blocks you completely from there.
That was one thing that I really liked when Venestra lands on the planet and he's not wearing his helmet. Spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah. That's coming very soon.
And then he throws it on real quick. I was like, oh, shit. This was pretty interesting, too, with her sort of.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a lot of that. Her doing her thing, trying to get out of the restraints while.
Okay. I want to know where the hell is my droid? Okay. What, is when I go to the Hasbro booth, there damn well better be some of those suckers. I want some.
That would be a cool Comic-Con item.
But when did Pip become a taser?
Pip is everything. He's like a badass flashlight and a lock stick and a taser.
He's a Swiss Army
droid.
Yeah, Swiss Army droid.
MacGyver droid.
Yes.
There you go.
Pip, played by Richard Dean Anderson.
Yes.
Make it
okay, so how about that? Go to See You in Hell.
Yeah, that was very reminiscent of Han's line in Empire.
Yeah.
And we did finally get, you had been saying all along, Jeff, that you thought the O's were like the moons.
Yeah, moon and
like we did kind of get a shot of that coming up here in a bit.
Well, it was also that kind of happens in the episode where May gets the mark.
Mm-hmm.
They show it happening then. So
one thing that Ryan already talked about is that this ship kind of looks like the
there's
Phantom.
Some more of it. Oh, right. That it's similar to the one that they connect to the Ghost. Yeah. This was a trip with the layers of rings.
Yeah.
But I was really hoping for Purgle Bones, personally.
Yeah, right? Space debris.
Yeah, I like the little ship that she's in. I think it's really, I think it's Battlestar Galactica reminiscent. But it might be even more reminiscent of some of the Jedi starfighters that they talk about in the High Republic.
Oh, yeah.
Similar to the one we got in Sith, because they had the Jedi starfighters there. Was that more an updated version?
Those were sort of cross.
In some of the High Republic stuff that I've read, they talk a lot about how their style of the Jedi starfighter. So I think it's a little more that. Now, this was straight out of the original series, the tracking on Saul's ship.
Yeah.
And then what the hell is Basil doing? What is Basil doing? Why?
He doesn't want him to catch her. It'd be nice to get some subtitles as to what he was speaking in Tinian.
Yeah.
Tynan, whatever his species language is. But then it's a trip that she ends up losing control. It's almost like she's falling through this chasm, but obviously there's no gravity that close to the planet or that far.
You know that Hasbro's going to come out with that bucket that she's wearing.
Oh, yeah. If not De Nuo Novo.
Yeah.
Hint.
I like the red visor and then the sort of Jedi-esque insignia.
I know Basil is marketing sensitive. That's his entire point in this show. I mean, the fact that Basil already has a freaking Funko.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And then
but we want Pip because remember when we were dying for Lola and then Lola came out.
Well, my Lola's right there.
I know.
Here's the cheap
on the
version
next
of Lola.
time that I see little Leia and Ewan.
Nice.
So-
Yeah, I have the
so
better one in the package still.
I love the Senator.
So
Yeah, he's very sort of politician. Like
I said this like so spoilers in 2 weeks, not this weekend but the next, is the Unifying Force episode will be on a review of the Acolyte. Okay, and just Cat goes ham. I'll just tell you that right now. But yes, exactly, Sherry. That was what I was getting to. But I said I would have thought that this senator would have carried more gravitas if he were somebody. I don't know if this is anybody we've ever heard of in the High Republic. If he is, somebody chime in.
right.
But I'm saying that this whole thing about the Jedi having checks and balances is if this was like Bail or
I think he means
we got a
Bill
frozen
Organa.
Dave.
great grandfather. That if that had been Bail Organa's grandpa, that nothing.
More of a connection to the original stuff.
Yeah, and I don't dislike this actor. I like this actor, other than the fact that I thought it was going to be the actor that plays Tuvok.
Mhm.
But if
Tim
he
Russ.
if he had a connection to the larger Star Wars universe, and please, if he does, and I don't know it, tell me.
Maybe he is Bale's grandfather. We don't know.
So the one thing I thought was very interesting about
They gave us a
So-
name. It's not. Yeah.
So they put nuances, obviously, that if you were not reading the books or had like a bunch of friends that were reading the books, they would translate for you. Like the whole thing of Venestra getting sick in hyperspace. You know, a friend of mine from high school messaged me, is like, I don't like the fact that she gets sick, she gets space sick when she goes in hyperspace. I'm like, well, it's not that she gets sick, but you have to know about the High Republic. He's like, oh, great. So I have to go read 13,000 books in order to understand this one thing. I'm like, well, I can tell you what happens. So here it is.
It's called merchandising
Mm-hmm.
because
Cross
immediately
promotion.
after what's about to happen here in a minute, I started to go look for a novel that was written a number of years ago. So I was like, oh, now I need to go read that.
Yeah, I think there may be as Bruce mentioned, the editing. There may be like a fan edit of this series at some point where they shuffle things around a little bit
Yeah.
to get a different kind of not storyline, but different.
Well, and
telling of-
I think a thing that I've said it a couple of times, I think on a watch-alongs is I think.
Uh-oh, watch out, Spencer.
Oh,
Pay
here.
attention. See, you're looking at your phone.
Fingers.
There, fingers,
Look, fingers. Oh, shadowy figure. Look at there.
eyes
Hood
poking
and
out.
shadowy figure.
Okay,
Darkness.
so he blends in. So let
Yeah,
me
he's
think
hard
about
to
this.
see.
So I think that's why I kind of lost it initially.
But you didn't see the silhouette of the little shadowy
Yep.
fingers?
The fingers are like the dead giveaway at the beginning. But
No, but the thing was that I didn't see it, and I was watching it on my 55-inch in my living room.
maybe you need to adjust your contrast.
That is possible. Because it was less obvious here on my phone, but on my TV where I was watching it the original time, it was like, oh, there. But I think some editing, or I think this show could have benefited from being either like 2 episodes shorter or about 3 or 4 episodes longer.
Yeah, I was thinking if it was a 6 episode, but with more length of per episode, it would have worked out a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then they could have had some of those flashback episodes just be partially flashback episodes and not full on. So
Right.
here comes Mog, the Barf the Mog again. I hate that they named him Mog. It just makes me think of Spaceballs.
If they were going to name him Mog, he should have been a tribute to John Candy.
Yeah, he needs furry ears. So they talked about in Screen Crush that little communication device that's on her desk there is like almost identical to. Oh, there's the shot of the planet and the planets are lining. That little communication device is basically the same one that Han spoke into in the Death Star. And when he shot it, it's like it looks very much like the
Star
shape and
Wars
everything.
Technology doesn't really change very fast.
Yeah, some stuff seems to stay the same.
We would have had like 18 new iPhones in this period of time, but they're talking into the same intercom.
Yep, they're more frugal. They got the frigid air of devices that lasts as long as you last. doesn't crap out on you after 2 years.
Yes, it's all the Star Wars technology is like a Harvest Gold 1970s like refrigerator.
Avocado colored.
Well, yeah, Harvest Gold or avocado. It was one of the two. Or was there a brown? I think there was a brown one too.
Yeah.
Or it could be have a refrigerator that can survive a nuclear blast.
There you go. That you can hide in.
In your metaphors.
I was saying that this place looks awfully sort of kept up for 16 years. Like I would have thought it would have been grown over much more.
Especially with the talking about how this planet has come back and done all this growing after the hyperspace disaster that started off the High Republic.
Right.
Which would have been 100 years before this.
Yeah, so the fact
a lot of moss.
Oh yeah,
lived in
Carrie Ann, other kinds,
a lot of moss. It's a mossy hill. What? It's the redone Splash Mountain? No, sorry.
There you go. Yeah, they did
just throw some moss on it. It makes it new. Wait, no. Sorry, better.
So did they show how he got? Did he climb up the wall again?
I don't think they showed how he got in because they still had to fix the elevator when the others came.
Right.
It kind of reminds me of the catacombs on Mandalore that we saw in that one episode.
Yeah.
And then we see here how May got in. She came back through her.
Did she force the door and then climb up?
She came back through her little sneak out exit.
Yeah, the thing. Yeah, I remember because we don't know how she did yet. We will in a few minutes.
Right. We have an idea because they talk about her sneaking out that way or whatever, and meeting up with Thosha.
It's like she remembers, like Sean Connery in The Rock. In through the laundry room, whatever, the furnace or whatever.
Yeah, I love when we see Chimere do his thing coming up. One thing they also talked about on the Screen Crush was that Sol can mean sun, and Chimere, or a derivation of that, means moon.
Ooh.
So there was this, sun and moon conflict ultimately in this episode, which we've seen some of previously, but
that's deep right there.
Yeah.
I don't trust that the writers actually knew that when they started that.
But. Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff that they dig up seems like it could have been like intentional, but maybe not always.
Now this is about to be badass. That was probably some of the best lightsaber ignitions in this show so far, and the fighting here is pretty darn cool with some exceptions.
When they started this fight, I was like, "Oh, hallway fight!"
Yeah.
Well, we're about to see. We're about to see this.
The little sparks on the ceiling. They should be cutting the shit out of that ceiling.
Yeah, especially with what happens right here.
Right, exactly. They can do this, but they barely touch
this
the
whole thing. Yeah, the ceiling should be scarred up.
This spot right now. This needs to be autographed.
Oh yeah,
that needs to be a print.
That would be a really cool one.
So again, some of the wire work in this is amazing.
I kept thinking of Fat Bastard. I hope my wire team is ready.
I want the lightsaber dagger.
Yes. We need a nice short blade and a separatable hilt that we can plug our shorter blade into. This was cool.
I mean,
that was totally Crouching Tiger right there.
Oh yeah, it totally was.
They could relatively easily make that as an add-on for Savi's sabers.
I think they would have to, for it to really work, they would have to alter the chassis. This is awesome.
Boom. Yes.
He's like, screw your sabers and you.
I would have just thought that they could do it as like they put on those end caps, like the
like a
loft cat and stuff like that. Is it would just screw on?
Except it would make the saber really long.
The blade thing, yeah, it would make your hilt ridiculously long.
And these ones are already chunky. These ones that they use in the show, they didn't go for the slim. What was it called? The Panaflex lighting tubes that they used in the original. Yeah, I think you were mentioning that before, Bruce, that it was very kung fu theater type of.
It was. Well,
fighting.
So was the first fight, which was great with Carrie-Anne Moss.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice that they kind of revisited that sort of extreme in terms of the look and feel of that fight in this episode, since it's first and last episodes.
Yeah.
Where we didn't get a ton of that, like in the Chimera Jedi slaughter.
No. Well, we get and look here, we're getting like hit with, talking about Saturday morning, we're hitting with like serial stereotypes where cowboy, white hat, black hat. It's like, oh yeah, my intentions by the color that I am wearing.
Right.
Pilgrim.
That's Star Wars adjacent. We'll take that.
Yes.
Scooby thinks that they could do it magnetic rather than screw on. That would probably be a better option.
Yeah, that would be cool.
But it would still require you popping it apart and then sticking a blade in, which kind of defeats the purpose. But slow the fight down a little bit.
It would be nicer if there were a chunky handle that already had that.
Maybe you could do like an extendable $12 lightsaber blade.
Yes,
as you pull it out, there it is. This is a great fight too, with no weapons.
Oh, it was, yeah. This was very like Matrixy, except for the
Pip. There's also like double dragon. I got the two twins fighting each other.
Oh yeah,
right. This is great right here, and then
nice kip up.
Yeah, but for sure, and over like her moves, that was really cool. I love this part right here.
How they're exactly matched opposite. They're doing the exact move for so much of that. It's very yin yang.
But look at the colors of their outfits too. I was just about to say it's very much yin.
Yeah, for sure. I love that smash cut from from the kicks to the sabers. That was really cool.
And then I really like this part of the fight, which is really how most of the fights would actually go. Just this section. This is very samurai right there. That's coming after the back up ocean.
Return to the fist fight. Yeah,
I love that. Oh, they're not here for me.
Yeah, that was pretty imposing there. It's like, uh-oh.
Well, yeah, because they don't know you exist.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then she disappears. That's a trip.
Maybe she was running like they ran in episode 1 when that was the only Jedi time that they had speed racing.
Oh, yeah, that was it. Oh, he's trying to touch the helmet, but no. So now, see, all Saul would have to do is turn on the saber. He'd hit himself in the head and blow out his saber. I was saying the whole time, just turn off your damn saber.
It's amazing how little that actually, that part right there, I was almost for sure that besides the blade or the hilt, that he was going to have a cut through him.
But this is the first time we actually see the Kyber inside of the actual saber.
Yeah. But see, right there, that's how like so many samurai battles go. It's the one stroke battle. It's like Maul versus Obi-Wan, the end of it. And
Mike was reiterating the point that in that fight in Twin Suns, Kenobi sliced him in half.
Yeah.
See, again, how does... I mean, he's focused on Chimere, but he should still have a sense that somebody else is approaching him.
Yeah, it's like that is how the Force works. He should have spidey senses.
She finally got the saber.
Yeah, she disarmed a Jedi.
And then she throws it away. And I thought
That
it
was
was
$200. Don't be throwing my saber.
Okay. So looking inside the front, like, you know, when Luke looked at it, he looking directly at the kyber. So that was actually really cool that we got to see
Right,
that.
to kind of, that's what he was
imagery.
looking at as opposed to just down a tube or whatever. Yeah. I wanted one of them to do that, though. Earlier, there was an earlier episode where she was like examining the saber, and I just really wanted her to look down it.
Agreed, Bruce. Like the whole reason why they needed a tracker, like Basil was there for nothing but cuteness. Is like, why do Jedis need a tracker? Is that's how the Force works.
Yeah.
His acting was still fantastic.
Oh yes.
The level he went to get. Are you talking about Basil or Saul?
Yes.
The level.
Yes.
The fact that he learned English for this role and it does not show,
Right.
Is a pretty amazing, I feel.
Now, I don't love the May Osha acting. It's a lot of deadpan. It's kind of the same for Vanestra. It's very bleh.
Yeah, she's overly serious most of the time and a little lackluster. I wish we would have got more of her whip in this episode specifically. Spoiler alert.
Right.
But this right here, it's
broke
yes,
my heart.
but yes, but don't just say yes.
Right. That's
Yes,
the thing.
but.
Is it's not. It's like she was turning into a, like, you know, the smoke monster. It's like,
Yeah, he
hi.
felt threatened. You know, it made sense.
So another thing that Ryan
It was
Ayers talked
unfortunate.
about is that this is very much reminiscent of the throne room scene in Return of the Jedi, where, you know, obviously Luke is all black, and then Luke's lapel opens up and it's white to show that he's actually there.
Yeah.
But this is her basically embracing the dark side.
Mhm.
Right.
And
Jackie noted
then they go
the
back
acting
to
as
that
well.
too old to train mess.
Yeah, which is like a cop out, I feel.
Yeah.
I love this. When this happened, I was like, holy crap.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But the fact that he doesn't try to counter it at all, it's almost like he's accepting.
Well, it may be because, you know, the level of guilt, and that's why
that's true.
Master Torben did as well, is
Corbin
he may
Dallas.
be that he, yes, that he did accept it. That he's like,
So
well, this
look at
is
her look at her hand placement. I know this is geeky, but it's very similar to like Hayden Vader choke.
Yeah.
well, but it's less. It's
Less Vader.
crouch,
It's more.
and
yeah,
it's
it's
more.
Yeah.
And this
This-
is
this-
insane.
This I lost my shit when I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That gave me chills right now. It's a trip how the crystal's sticking out sort of, and it's actually touching her hand. I didn't notice that the first time. And you saw a little something going on with her, like interacting with it.
Well, he got
She's
killed without a
down.
weapon. He got killed without a weapon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she did it.
But that
her sister
wasn't-
couldn't do it.
That wasn't her goal. That was her sister's goal.
Yeah.
Right. The funny thing is, Kymer's watching there. He's like, "Oh my god,
Yeah,
this is
but
awesome."
this I didn't get anger in her face as she was doing that. I didn't get the kind of anger that would turn the blade. I got more anger from Paul when he was about to kill Chimere, and I would have loved to see the crystal turn red right there, and he just go and be done.
Oh yeah, that would have been pretty hardcore. This is a trip, and then
Yeah.
the saber, the blade color changing as she
Yes.
wields it.
He's like, "You are the one."
Well, this is the point I think where he was for sure that's who I want as my acolyte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be very interesting if like the theory is that obviously he might have been Plagueis's original Padawan, and if they're talking about the power of two, if they have the rule of two at this particular time, if he was trying to get his own Padawan to take over, take Plagueis over.
She stepped down and she felt it right there. He's not wearing the helmet.
Yep, I love this. He's like, "Oh shit!"
Here's the thing: another question they didn't ever answer, which was, is he just another Padawan? Or there is a Padawan in the High Republic that Vernestra had that fits a lot of his qualities. And was it that they didn't name him? Was it that Padawan?
That's this ties into my whole theory of going back to the Kylo theme that Leslie said that was intentional. My theory is that she saw the darkness in him while he was sleeping, and she actually went to kill him, as opposed to Luke couldn't pull the trigger, which forced into Kylo.
That's what I'm talking about. The one who was very specifically not comfortable around people. That's why that sensory deprivation helmet would be so good for him. Yes, exactly. And he has a name and he has this whole backstory, and it's like, why didn't you just name it and go ahead and tell us it's that guy from the High Republic so we would know that we want to go back and read more about it?
Yeah, that's true. If they could have truly connected it to some of that stuff, I think it would have piqued the interest in the other stuff that people are sort of shying away from.
Yeah.
So here we go. We get to see where she went. And, I don't understand. If she actually fell down that chasm, I don't think she would have survived personally.
Okay, but Luke fell down a chasm and he flew right into a tunnel.
Well, see, the fire was still going and like the air conditioning system was still running, so there's like siren or something.
So this is, this place has been shut down for a long time. So
yeah. But I do not know all the like rando Jedi in the background here.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of Jedi for.
You see, it doesn't really.
Explanation, Ashley, is if they intend in another phase of the High Republic to reveal in the books,
expand on it. Then
that's I like that. I hope that
Rando Jedi doesn't flow off your tongue like Rando Mando. Like
it does not.
Somebody was just listed as Jedi 2 in the subtitles.
Just standing around Jedi. Look, there's.
I think that one guy is like the most interesting Jedi in the world looking guy. He's got that kind of Dos Equis look to him, but not quite. He had more hair.
Well, why the planet hasn't been named yet, but we all know what the planet is. That's blatantly obvious.
It's a Planet of the Apes.
Yes, no.
You blew it up, you bastards!
Damn yous!
Use.
Dos Equis Jedi.
Dos Equis Jedi, indeed.
That's not racial.
Okay. That guy, you need to find out who that guy is, and we need him, Spencer. Because I want the quote right now. I don't always use the Force, but when I do, and then just 2 X's.
There you go. Indeed.
Make it happen.
He's the most interesting Jedi in the world, in the galaxy.
Yes. It's like, I don't always use the Force, but when I do.
Galaxy far, far away.
Dave, get the pen out. That's the next T-shirt.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, look, the Bunta tree.
So what's up with those like mushrooms growing out of it?
Maybe that's Bunta.
Maybe is that where the source of the poison is, as opposed to the leaves?
Yeah, it's kind of like shrooms.
Hey, except it kills you after your trip.
Yes, that is a T-shirt, Ashley.
Yes.
Speaking of T-shirts, don't forget you can get our Semantics T-shirt available right now on TeePublic.
Yes.
Where is that? Do we have
Mine is shipped.
Oh, is that one not in this one?
No, it's not. I
All
think
right.
we're running out of space because I just had to dump some stuff when I loaded in the meetup one. So it might have been because
Someone
we didn't have
bought
space.
10 pins of the Semantics. The other day
Nice.
for our TeePublic. for our
Well,
site.
that would be some hecka swag right there.
Oh yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
So you could make swag that we already made. I didn't think of
We can
that.
pass out swag.
Stickers,
did the work
magnets. You
already.
get, there you go.
Oh, that one's up there. That one's here. Wham. Anyways, I meant the one that just had just that graphic, but yeah,
Oh,
No, but that's so great. That's so great graphic.
take this one out. Indeed.
yeah, but like all of these Jedi, just
Bounding through the forest.
I can
Why?
attempt.
Why?
Is it so that the Jedi can't get the information out of her?
Yes.
Because then when
There's so many
Venestra's
other ways to
interrogating
do
her,
that.
she's like, "You only remember back to when you were a kid."
But she could go away. She could go away with them.
Yeah, that too.
She could go hide in the outer
Instead of
rim.
sacrificing.
Yeah, but
herself.
you just said. But she just said that the Jedi will hunt me to get to you.
Yes, Scoob. Yes. Why are they they do not know what the word perimeter means.
Yeah, yeah. Zoop. Just stab them right now.
Yeah, it's I don't understand. It's like I don't get it. I don't know why we clear her memory. She's still going to be in trouble. Okay, the Jedi and going like, "Oh, you don't remember killing all these people. That's okay." Is it though? Is it though?
And why is it such a selective amount of time? Why isn't it all of her memory as opposed to up to a certain point?
Yeah.
And if he could
Kind
do
of-
that, why didn't he just wipe himself out of her memory?
Yeah.
Well,
basically.
you ever see the movie? You ever see the movie The Memento? It kind of reminds me
Right.
of there to remember what she done.
Blurg.
Yeah. And then just
So the
but she
so the
doesn't remember
so
the saying that was from when they were kids. She stopped
Yeah.
in the end. It's messy. It's messy.
so it's almost like a neuralizer, but a Sith version of the
But
Jedi
then-
mind trick.
Look, I just wiped her memory, but she's staring at me in the face. Why doesn't she remember this when the Jedi pick her up? It's like, wait, the first thing I remember is staring into a face that was exactly like mine.
Right.
It's like I'm looking
But-
in the mirror.
Right.
But she had that experience as a kid too, so I don't know. Maybe that's just not that
Maybe.
different.
Oh,
It's-
let's just
it's-
follow the little muskrat.
Barf the Mog is leading the way.
He kind of looks like Lumpy Adams from the Addams Family movie.
And it's like, why do these Jedi know who? I don't get why they don't. I mean, everybody says Basil could tell them apart, but you don't see Basil telling them apart. Why don't they assume that that's Osha?
Right. Based on what she's wearing, how she looks. I guess if they really look closely to see if she has the
Hey, Mom
mark.
doesn't know that. I mean, Basil knows. Basil can smell them apart. Now, for Nestra, this was pretty badass like outfit. I like that.
it was a kind of a cool throwback sort of robe thing to High Republic stuff. They were talking about how her chair is reminiscent of the Emperor's chair.
Mm.
There's way more color in this whole version of the like office areas than there is later
Well,
on.
High Republic is
That was when the color was there.
the golds and the whites and the fancy pants, gilded
Right.
robes.
I mean, just like the chair next to her has that not pinstriping, but like a racing stripe on it,
Right.
As opposed to just being black, which is not something George would have done because it would have cost too much at the time. And that's why he added color to the Clone Troopers, because he could, and it was digital.
Yeah. I don't know enough to have I haven't read enough of High Republic that has Vernestra in it, Troy, to have stakes.
But there's a lot of backstory for her, as far as I know, when it comes to the books.
Tons. And according to what I've read on the line, some of our friends who are super High Republic-y people enjoy this portrayal, which I didn't think they would, but do.
Yeah.
So I trust in that.
Right.
Yes.
I don't love the actress though.
Yeah.
She's not the actress I thought she was, but she reminds me of several other kind of generic actresses.
Right.
And yeah. And I don't love the lack of emoting. And maybe that's a thing that is supposed to be Vernestra that I don't know. Maybe
right. So D is the senator on the left side of the table.
Yeah.
So in Jamie's judgment of the High Republic, we trust.
Yes.
So
who is Leslie's wife? Is that the actress that plays?
I heard that one today.
Right.
I didn't know that until today. But Vernestra is
nepotism.
Leslie.
Yeah, I was going to say Nepo. but it's funny that they're talking about the Jedi right now. But let's give some condolences that a badass Jedi himself, Professor Proton, joined the Force today. So rest in peace, Bob Newhart.
What?
Oh yeah, Bob.
I had not heard that.
Yeah, Bob Newhart died today.
There was, and then there was a bunch of the memes of him as Ghost Force Jedi. From
Professor Proton.
Oh man, that's.
Yeah, he was 95, so he had a good run.
He did. Again, if you're out there and you're hitting cons and people are there, meet your heroes while you can.
Oh yes. Take the opportunity, because you never know when that opportunity will.
Yeah. I did like the fact that she did a traditional Jedi funeral for Saul.
Right. Yep. So they kept kept appearances up is really what she was doing.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think what she's doing this whole scenario, she's covering herself up by throwing Saul under the bus, because she now knows that she messed up, and what the Padawan that she thought she probably killed. What?
Away with that, because like that kind of answers the question, but not answering the question about how Saul would how Kamir would have said, "You don't remember me." If Saul would have known Vernestra's Padawan,
right?
But
it would have been interesting to get like a revelation at some point where he's like, "Oh, now I know who you are," kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's the mustache.
There you go.
And then here we go into the.
Like I said, in the after show, I was waiting for like Rogue One for like a nuclear blast, and they were just watching.
Well,
it's interesting about. I thought this was the very end.
Of course.
But they do these blackouts, and I was like, and then they're like, "Oh, wait, here's a little bit more."
All right.
When this happened, I was like, "Son of a bitch!"
I dislike this part a lot. Well, that's true too. Actually, it's like, unless he was the Padawan before Saul, because again, Chimera says he was very, very old. We've seen his relationship, or a possible relationship, with Plagueis, who is very into extending life.
Right.
But remember, Chimere specifically asked Saul if he didn't remember him. So I don't know. It's another one of the unanswered questions. And
Right.
the BS with popping in at the end, do not mess with the little green dude. If you guys, I don't care if you want to use the Jedi as an allegory for government corruption, not freaking Yoda. Okay? No. You don't change OT characters that are no.
So I just read
This is
something that said
tricky
that
chance
Eunice
that they
did
have
all of
to
his stunts as Konaka because no one else could fit into the suit.
Well,
that
yeah,
works.
because Eunice is ginormous.
Yeah, he is
Yes.
very tall.
And
When I got a selfie with him, it was like, let me try this angle here so I can get me in it and him in it at the same time.
And I am sorry, I cannot deal with they enterprised the end credits.
Yeah. But anyway, we just finished out another season, another series here on the Virtual Cantina Network. Overall, I enjoyed The Acolyte immensely. I thought there was a lot of incredible ideas. But like every Star Wars out there was elements of it I was kind of like, about. But there's some great lines. The fact that we got the semantics line that summed up, like for me at least, what the Jedi are, I'm like, incredible.
There's been for years the whole thing of from a certain point of view when there's contradiction. Right. So now we have a new version of that.
So I am very intrigued by the character, the stranger, obviously, Chimere. I don't know. I would probably say that this is probably, I would say, in the middle of all the Disney Plus shows for me. Really, it's not in the top echelon, but it's not in the bottom. Right. But I enjoyed a lot of it, especially because I was like, after I said, I'm just excited because there's no Skywalkers.
Yeah, it gives it a different vibe for sure.
But there is. But there freaking is. They keep saying we're going to get rid of, and we're not going to do a Skywalker story, but you throw Plagueis in, and that's that line right there. Because
but they get the same thing with Yoda too, so.
No. But I'm talking about Plagueis is potentially, if they do
creator.
Yes, he's potentially the direct line to Anakin Skywalker.
Yes. So he knows it can be done at this point with May and Osha.
So that's what I'm saying is they say they're not going to tell the Skywalker story, but they're telling the Skywalker story. And Skywalker yet again, it's another Disney Plus show that is explaining somehow Palpatine returned.
Well, another thing that we also learned in this one is that they have a character called Osha, and there was handrails everywhere.
That is correct. There totally were. So that's the thing. Somebody who named this character was not native to the United States.
Well, this is a big, English production, so
right. I wonder. Anybody on, like, I should have asked Gio when we typed, like, what do they call OSHA in the UK?
Yeah, what is that entity called?
But you can meet details from the Acolyte at Bounty Eve Special Edition in LA. If you're trying to start an Acolyte piece or you want some 8x10s from the Acolyte, rank it alone. Come see D. So
he's not part of the Filoni-verse per se, but he is part of the Disney Plus shows. So that
and a friend of the family. I mean, if you were in London, he was the host for Bounty Eve in Alderaan Idol for us. So very, very exciting. Jeff, what was your overall opinion of the series?
I liked it for the most part. There were some things where I felt they stumbled. Some of the dialogue, some of the situations. there was talk of the acting not being great, but I didn't really have too much of a problem with that. I could get past that. But HSE in the UK, okay, Health and Safety Executive. But you know, I'm in it for the saber battles and, you know, the Wookiee going ham. You know, I did really like that they upped their graphics from earlier episodes, especially in that chase scene through the rings of the planet, because we had some hokey visuals prior to that I personally was complaining about, and I had no qualms with you know, the ships and their situations in these later episodes. So I just like getting Star Wars.
Yeah, me too. Dave, any thoughts on you?
So, despite the complaints, I know I've given a lot of them here. Oh, look at there, the little fawn.
Yeah, that could be some sort of reasoning behind it.
It could be, but despite the level of complaints, I did enjoy the show. Okay, I enjoyed watching. I enjoyed the questions that were being asked, like all the questions posed in this. I liked is how does Saul know Chimera? How does this happen? Who is Chimera's master? Who is the? I just wish they'd answered some more of them.
Yeah, they left a lot more hanging than I expected.
Yeah, they really did, and I loved the saber fights. I liked and didn't mind. I know there were people who were talking about early on that they didn't like introducing like the kung fu and the Matrix style fighting into Star Wars, but I'm like, well, the prequels put basically capoeira into the
right, yeah.
thing.
Well, if you also look at the saber fighting, like you were talking about in the prequels, it's far superior, obviously, than the original trilogy. So this is another level. It's almost like the fighting styles they're deteriorating over a couple of years.
Right, they're devolving, kind of.
Yeah.
I particularly I enjoyed it. I really did on the whole. A lot of questions, a lot of complaints, a lot of little things that I wish had been done differently. But it's good watchable Star Wars at least. I don't think it's going to be as rewatchable as like the original trilogy and the prequels even, and I don't think it's going to be as rewatchable, but I don't know what in the Disney Plus or the Disney era is other than Rogue One and
Solo, Acolyte, Andor.
Andor I really enjoyed, but it's not something that I
got
feel
a different pace and stuff.
Watching again and again. Like if I'm going to sit down and rewatch something, I'm going to go to prequels, or I'm going to queue up Rogue One and go right into A New Hope, or you know. But I haven't gotten that from any of the other properties quite yet.
Adrian has all the back story info on the names. So May is Hebrew for blessed or rebellious, along with Osha being Armenian for little fawn. That's interesting.
Very cool.
I would rather actually, I think, get them in a different phase of the High Republic stuff, but I don't know that I want a season 2 of the Acolyte that goes right back to this. I don't think I need to see a season 2 of the Acolyte that actually uses any of these characters other than potentially Plagueis. You know? So, and I kind of agree with Jacob right there. I am enjoying a lot of the questions that Ahsoka has given us about what is Balin going for. But see, here's the difference in that we're reasonably certain that is going to be resolved.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No, actually I don't think I need to see Darth Teeth again. I don't think I need to do. Is I'm okay with that just going away and that being a story and something maybe we can find out about more in the comics or the novels or the whatever. Do I need to see it on screen again? No. If
Might
they
be
want to
interesting to see because they did use the Kylo Ren theme to see if there's some kind of connection to the Knights of Ren. That would be
Yeah. Well, there's a great comic book I keep on talking about, the Rise of Kylo Ren. The anthology book is absolutely incredible. So definitely take a look at that. But this is the last show until the rest of the year as far as a Disney Plus Star Wars. We do have confirmed Skeleton Crew is going to come out around the Christmas time area. But we got a lot of other stuff that we're planning. Obviously, this is
in this year, but just the end of this year. Unless I was talking about this with Skip tonight, unless they drop like another Tales of the Jedi or they drop another season of Visions on us completely out of the blue like they did before.
Right. So who knows? Because they did say to us flat out at Celebration that there was a season 2 of Tales of the Jedi, but it could have been a red herring.
Or it could have been they could have been referring to Tales of the Empire.
Right.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That was red herring for that. But
somebody mentioned I saw a post about acolytes being mentioned in an episode of Visions, so they've got some connections there, so it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
Yeah. So next week is obviously the start of San Diego Comic-Con and the Virtual Cantina Family Vacation 2. So we're going to change it up a little bit. Dave is, going to go to some Deadpool Wolverine panel in Hall H because the bastard got passes. Yep. But Jeff, Skip, and I will be joined by our Boonta Eve guest for San Francisco, Mr. John Goodson, and we are going to be watching Star Trek First Contact
without
John
Dave here.
I know.
What?
I brought Skip.
Beyond for that.
I brought Skip.
Skip is totally a Trekker.
Yeah. So
not a Trekkie.
Very excited about that because John was heavily involved with that. But we will talk to John about his involvement in the wars as well. There you go, Dave. Getting some props for your Hall H win. Great job there. So if you got questions for John, he's done it all. He's been involved with Star Wars, Star Trek, Back to the Future. Mark,
Mark, that only proves that you watch them because that's this close to con.
Well, no. His wife is actually a huge Star Trek fan. Like Jen's a huge Star Trek fan. So, but yeah, we're gonna have that, and then
that's how you really feel, April.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
While we're in San Francisco, NVO is literally taking the red eye from Disneyland back to New York, going to work, and then showing Ashley and Mark are going to host the Watch-Along in 2 weeks, and they're watching the Rebels panel when Rebels was introduced.
That's going to be pretty cool.
So very excited for them. And also we're scheduling some other actors to be showing up later on after that for different episodes of various shows that we've been trying to plan to. But we got a lot of stuff going on. But please, please, please keep an eye out on the VCN, our Instagram, as well as our Facebook page during the family vacation, because you never know when Jeff, Dave, or I might be going live.
Very true.
At any particular time. Very true. We will be having a lot of we'll have a lot of updates.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very excited about that. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you for joining us for the Acolyte. Very excited that we had another show. And we hope to see you all in California in a little over a week. So, Jeff, anything you want to say before we close out?
No, be sure to come by Scum and get your photo with the speeder.
Speedy.
Speedy. That's going to be awesome. I was talking to Galen Howard last night at a event here in LA about Speedy being there, and he was pretty stoked about that.
I think Speedy's going to be the sleeper favorite. I don't know, or trying to get picture.
I was saying that there might be a line stretching down Hollywood Boulevard just for Speedy.
Yep, I'll be in it.
Oh, so let's speaking of Speedy, let's give props to Shauna Triptych, as well as Maria Sandoval and Hal Hickel for all being nominated for an Emmy for Ahsoka.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah, I reached out to Hal and Maria as soon as that announcement was made. So
I sat next to Maria during the first episode of The Acolyte in the theater at the Grove. So she's very cool and she deserves it.
Yep.
She does hard work.
Yep.
And she had to spend the day with Hayden.
Oh, poor girl. I mean, it's like just with the Haydenception. It's like, oh, I feel bad for you that you're seeing Hayden all the time.
Pretty much.
No, but ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing you each and every day, every week at the Virtual Cantina Network. Another episode of did they do an after show for tonight?
They did the live watch-along after show. That was it.
Live. I don't think there's an after show for this one since they did the reaction.
Okay.
Yeah, that was it.
So this week,
taking place.
So this weekend they had Jedi Archives. So Jedi Archives will be back. We'll be back on Sunday. So we look forward to seeing you in California, and thank you for joining us tonight. So from Jeff, from Dave, this is Spencer saying, "May the Force be with you."
Something about threads.
For light and life.
And semantics.
That too.